After years of build-up and endless teasing, One Piece episode 1162 finally delivers what fans have been waiting for. The Straw Hats 2 arrival in Elbaf, and it feels less like a regular island stop and more like stepping into a living myth. Unlike the previous episode, which leaned heavily on tension and character-driven confrontation, this chapter slowly slows everything down, but that slowdown is intentional. Instead of rushing into battles or major revelations, the episode focuses on immersion, letting Elbaf breathe as a world rather than just a destination. And in that sense, it works beautifully. From the moment the Straw Hats arrive, Elbaf is presented as something larger than life. Toy animation leans heavily into scale and atmosphere, making every frame feel grand and almost legendary. The standout visual moment is the Rainbow Bridge sequence, where the great Eric rises in a surreal, almost dreamlike display. It's a kind of imagery that reminds you why Elbaf has been built up for so long in the history story. Even simple conversation add to the world building. Dory and Broggy's explanation of Elbaf's layered structure, the underworld, sun world, and heaven world, gives the island a mythological depth that feels straight out of a legend rather than a typical pirate adventure. This isn't just another stop on the Grand Line, it feels like a place within its own history, its own rule, and its own identity. Emotionally, the episode also lands well, especially through Usopp's perspective. Seeing him finally arrive in the land of giants he has dreamed about for so long adds a quite emotional weight to the episode. The small flashback with Luffy and Usopp reinforce just how far the crew has come together, making Elba feel like a reward for both the characters and the audience. That said, the slower pacing will not work for everyone. Some scenes, particularly the road subplot, feel stretched and more comedic than impactful. There's also not much forward movement in terms of major story progression, but unlike typical slow episodes in long running anime, this one feels justified because the goal is atmosphere, not acceleration. And just when the episode settles into its warm, adventurous tone, it introduces a subtle shift in mood. Luffy's hidden conversation with Loki raises quite suspicion, especially since he is notoriously bad at keeping secrets. Then comes Louis Arnold's narration, which changes everything. After all the beauty and wonder, we are suddenly reminded that Elbaf may not be as safe or welcoming as it appears. That final warning lands hard. It reframes the entire episode, turning what felt like a fantasy introduction into something more uncertain and potentially dangerous. In the end, episode 1162 succeeds not because it delivers action or big reveals, but because it finally makes Elbaf feels real. It feels ancient, vast, and alive in a way that lives up to years of anticipation. Even with its pacing issue, it captures something essential about One Piece, the feeling of true adventure returning after long wait. Elbaf isn't just an island anymore, it feels like a myth that has finally stepped into the story. Thank you for watching. Bye.